Hello everyone, and this is indeed Cat Dad Things. We are back again in Guild Wars 2, and this time around I figured I'd make a video talking about Fractal dungeons. Now there is a dungeon system in this game for new players and things such as that, but it's not really that popular. It's kind of hard to get it started. I did get some comments on my previous videos about dungeons in general, like Fractal specifically, and how new players might have a tough time getting involved with it. There are some mechanics on how it works and how to get involved. Of course, there's endgame fractals where you have like the best of the best, everyone with the best builds, best gear, and you can actually net a lot of money doing it. But of course, that's not what we're about in this channel. We're more of the casual gamer. So this will be just a little introduction to fractals, how to get their groups, how to get started, and of course, how to get yourself involved in this type of content. Maybe just to try it out, see if you like it, and if you want to continue, you can always do that. So currently, I am in the renowned Lion's Arch, and if you look all the way down here at the bottom, Fort Mariner, if you don't have that map area explored, obviously you can just find it at the bottom here. You see all these gates, these portals, right here in the center. It says Dungeon, Fractals of the Mists. A lot of people spend their time here. It's a nice way to just kind of turn off your brain again. Once you go through the fractals and you see the different layouts of the dungeons, just like everything else, it's a lot of rinse and repeat, right? Maybe going through it for the first time, you might struggle a little bit just because it's new. But after that, just rinse, lather, repeat. So if you look here in the achievements section, go down to your dailies, you see daily fractals right here, and you can see the different scales. So there's a lot you can do in one day, every day. But the scales talk about the difficulty of the fractal. You have tiers 1 through 4, and then the scales, the numbers they represent basically which tier they'll fall into. But we're going to be focusing on entry level stuff, you know, just getting your feet in the door. So tier 1 is what we're focusing on. See Solid Ocean, tier 2 Solid Ocean. By the way, fun fact, you see how it goes all the way from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. If you do the tier 4 dungeon, let's say your end game, you know, Fractal Dungeoneer, you do it, you get all the achievements for that day. Even if you run the tier 4. So you don't have to go do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 version. You just do version 4, tier 4 version, you get them all. But if you only do the tier 1, you don't get the resources for tier 2, tier 3, so on and so forth. It only works the other way around. But that doesn't mean you still can't get, you know, some good stuff. Like when you look at the chests, they do go up obviously in value depending on the tier that you do. Initiate's chest, tier 1. Get a pristine fractal relic, +1 agony fusion, encryption key, resonating silver, and enchants for rare item. So that could be anything. All the way to the tier 4, you get 2 relics, agony infusions, fractal encryption key, 4 resonating silvers, woohoo! Chance for rare items. You just get better stuff. That's basically all it means. You get better stuff. And who doesn't like stuff? We like stuff here. So this is how the dailies work. Again, you can do it every single day and get these extra boosted rewards. They're very nice, and they start stacking up. Like when you actually look at all the dailies that you can do in a single day, besides your normal grind, your normal things, you can start stacking up your materials and gold really fast once you have all the unlocked content. Today, we're just focusing on fractals. So when you go in here, you see the portal, it opens up all the different tiers. Now how this works is you have to do the dungeons to unlock the next tier. So I'm not even at tier 4, like I'm not full end game with this. This is the next one I have to do in order to continue on down my trek just to get to number 4. So it does take a lot. You see your personal fractal level, that's me, 72, and then your agony resistance. Now this is a key mechanic to fractals. You can get away with doing most of tier 1, at least in my experience, without really having much agony resistance. But once you start going up, you'll just straight up die. Like you will get bamboozled and shut down. Agony resistance is a stat that allows you, that basically unlocks more of the content for you. It does take money, time, resources to get enough agony resistance, obviously, but it's up to you. If you want to really get into this activity, then you can start getting the agony resistance. But you see tier 1, and they do have quite a bit of amount of dungeons when you really think about it. Maybe for some veteran, long-time players, you can start thinking to ourselves, oh, there's no fractals, but there's actually a lot going on here. So what you want to try and do is go through the fractals, unlock them, of course. These are your dailies, by the way. They make it easy for you. Go through them. There are 5-player dungeons. You'll unlock them, go through, and you're trying to get to the Shattered Observatory. So I'll show you what that is. Shattered Observatory, enter. Fractals of the Mist. Ooh, Okay, so now we're in. This is like the little fractal zone. All your basic fractal, your essential needs are found in this zone. This is the Shattered Observatory. Repair guy, blah, blah, blah. This is where you can group. When you get to a party and it asks you if you want to go to the mists, it'll port you here. See this little mini teleporter? You hit that. You come over here. Here are all of your vendors. Now, these vendors are key to having what you need for the Fractals of the Mist. So, the merchant here, this guy, you have some items, they're exotics, I don't really care much about them. Gift of Ascension, legendaries, or whatever you're doing, it's there. You have your Ascended salvage tools. You do get Ascended gear drops from these fractal dungeons, which is very nice. Generally, they're accessories, at least from what I've seen. For the most part, they're accessories. So if you don't have any, you can, of course, spend fractal relics and a gold to salvage them at a chance for things to give you more money. Legendary component. This is for a legendary thing. You have recipes here. I mean, there's a lot to actually go through here. Now, here's the key part. If you want to advance your fractal career, is the Agony Infusion upgrades. This is what gives you your Agony resistance. And if you really want to get spicy with it, then you start looking up the super epic Gosu builds, and you can find the builds that you need Agony resistance, but you also get extra stats for them, which is actually pretty nice. Just takes a lot of grinding. Or if you're a rich, baron or whatever, and you just want to skip the grinding and throw loads and loads of gold at it, you can always do that too. No one's stopping you. But for us casual gamers, we're always broke in these games. So we have to do the grind method. So I'll take a little look at my inventory here. You look at your gear. So you see how it has your stats, blah, blah, blah. And look right underneath the stats, you see Agony Infusion. +9 Agony resistance. That's how you get your Agony resistance for these dungeons. You basically get your piece of gear, and you add the Agony resistance to it. So far, I've only gotten to 9 Agony resistance for all my... Well, I didn't do it for my Greatsword yet, but all my other weapons and things such as that, I only have 9. I can do most of the tier 3s. I think I can do all the tier 3s, especially with a pot. But you can go all the way up to 11, you see here. Just go down the list. And they do this so that you can convert your Agony resistances. So let's say you have all +3 in your slots, and you're like, I can't add any more Agony, I only have +3. You can actually buy an extractor to remove the Agony infusion, save it, and then you combine them to get the next one. So this is the +1 tab, so you have 4 +1s, you get a 3. You have 16 +1s, you get a 5. So on and so forth. But now you just took out all your +3s, you only need 4 of them to get a +5. So on and so forth, you go down the list. That way you can recycle your Agony, and you're not just throwing buckets and buckets of money out the window, getting nothing for it. When you go through these dungeons, when you get your rewards at the end, you get Agony resistance. I have a few stacks here that I've been saving up. I kind of got away from Fractals for a while, but I still keep this on hand for when I want to upgrade. I have 500 in the bank, 500 here, 60. I got 1,061. That's enough for me to upgrade. But I'll run some dungeons just to kind of show you guys the feel, how it works, what it looks like. You do get those chests, like I mentioned, in your rewards. So you take a look at our fractals. You do get these chests, which gives you... and at the end of every dungeon, you get locked chests too, and you need the fractal encryption key to unlock them. But it's not really secret, but I am going to show you really quick something that you might not know, or if you're a new player, this is just truly fantastic to keep this in mind. You can buy fractal encryption keys, because you will get more chests than you know how, than you can use the keys for. You get more chests than keys. English is hard. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So let's say you have 10 chests, 3 keys. You're left with 7 chests. So what do? Next day, am I going to get 7 more and then have 100 chests before I know it? Not necessarily. What you can do is you can purchase up to a limit of 30 a day. You can buy these deeply discounted fractal encryption keys for a fractal relic. You get so many of them, it's worth it. 20 silver, again, it's worth it. Because what you find in the chest, you will earn your 20 silver back, plus more. Your fractal relics, again, they're a dime a dozen. You're fine with just spending them for the keys. But you get more silver back, more gold back for the items that you can sell. And they're sellable items, they're junk. And plus items. You could potentially get rare drops, which could really benefit you. You get agony infusion. It's just better. If you're trying to just bust out some dungeons, throw on a YouTube video, throw on a Netflix documentary, whatever you want, and just mindlessly grind some content, fractals are perfect for you. There's people always trying to do them. You look at this vendor here, some ascended gear. In my last video, I talked about 5 tips for new players, and one of them is getting ascended. This is one of the easier ways to get your accessories, like your rings and things such as that. You need pristine fractal relics. So these take a little longer to get, but I mean, I've got 251, and I am not a veteran end game crazy player. Like, I'm a casual gamer, and I've got 251. I can buy 25 of these bad boys. I definitely have more than enough to get what I need, and you can too. It doesn't take very long. You can buy these, which you can choose which upgrade they do, obviously, and then legendary components. That's for another thing, another video. Junk. Well, it looks like I had some junk. All right, so yeah, there's ascended gear here. You can actually buy fractal relic. Like, if you're low on the fractal relic currency, you can spend the pristine ones. I never ever do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to, you can. It's your game. You play how you want. So back to this vendor. I'm probably going to include this again in another video, but since we're here, I'll say it here as well. If you are playing bank wars or inventory wars, that happens so quick in this game. It's so easy to lose track of your items. Like, do I need this? Do I need that? I have no inventory space. Happens all the time. So what I did when I first started playing the game is I learned about fractals, started grinding them out right, getting my fractal relics and such. And you don't get a lot of slots in your inventory. Your bags are kind of weak sauce. If you get the expansion packs, obviously you don't get the best slots. And if you don't, and you're just playing through the game, you get no bags from that. This is an easy way to get some bags. They're not the best bags. They're not end game by any means, but they can get you where you need to go until you have the time or the patience to grind out those really big bag slots. It does not take much. 10 silver, 150 relics, and boom, here you go. It's super, like, you can see all mine are still the same right there. I've been rocking this for a couple years now. And they're just cheap, they're easy, they get the job done. I'd recommend doing it just so you don't have to play inventory wars all the time. There's your ascended recipes. Continuing on, because we're not done here. You have your Laurel Merchant. This is the same one as the city, so you don't have to go here to use it. Just take a quick look through, blah blah blah. You have this merchant here. Now this guy is getting into fractal specific things. If you don't want to do PvP, if you don't want to do open world PvE, you don't want to raid, you don't want to craft, you can get your ascended gear set just from fractals. Like, you can do that. It'd be a lot of grinding, obviously, but with any activity, you'd have to grind a lot of stuff. What you need is some money, and you'll get more than enough money from doing your activities, I promise you. Money won't be an issue if this is your goal, to grind out ascended stuff. So you need some money. You need your Grandmaster Armor Smith's marks, or leather, whatever your class and whatever you can equip is. And then you also need Fractal research pages. You get those pages pretty easily. It doesn't take that long. It really doesn't to get them. I have 130, and I've never bought anything, but I can buy myself a full set right now with them. And your Fractal relics, which again, you get them very fast, so don't worry about it. Now down to your weapons, same exact thing. Your Grandmaster Weaponsmith marks, of course, depending on your weapon, your class, what you're going to equip, you need them. But Fractal research pages, relics, gold, that's all there. So if you wish to get your marks, your ascended marks, for example, these are recipes to craft them. There are other ways to get them. As a casual player, I would recommend the crafting side. For anyone playing this game, I would recommend maxing out your crafting as soon as you can. So much of this game is tied to recipes and crafting that it'll just make your life easier. So if you can get that, the sooner the better, and then you'll be able to finish out getting ascended. These are actually really nice to have. I've never gotten one of these, but I'll go through the potions here in a second. And then there's other, like, you know, end game fractal stuff that this guy has. But I do want to touch on the potions. So in my inventory, you do get them drops from the dungeons randomly, but you have your Mist Defensive, Mist Offensive, Mist Mobility. You have this too, but I save that for other stuff. You have smaller ones, and the large ones are the only ones that keep. If I get a small one, I just pop it, you know, whatever. But they really help out your dungeon because you get incoming damage and fractals reduced by 5% per 5 stack, and this gives you 5 stacks. It lasts an hour. That's a long time to do some dungeon content. Mist Offensive Potion, same thing. You get 5 stacks, your damage is increased by 3% per stack. That's a lot of damage. Mobility, everyone loves mobility. You get more speed, endurance recharge rate is increased. Super, super good, especially because of trying to dodge certain skill shots from the bosses and things like that. Helps out a ton. When you first start, you're not going to have many, and if you need them, you can buy them. These are the infinite ones. I've never bought one because that's a lot of relics, and I don't grind these out enough to facilitate that. But hey, if you want to do it, you know, you go ahead and do it. More power to you. Check out our vendors over here. So you have these augmentations as well. These are probably my next goal for my fractals, just to, they empower your dungeoneering experience. So, for example, Karmic Retribution. It's a permanent effect. You get bonus karma from every final chest. So it's like an investment. You buy it, and it's going to help you long-term with everything. Agony. Every character on your account permanently gains 5 agony resistance, level 1 of 4. So this gets you permanent agony buff, which is super good. I haven't even touched it yet. Mist Attunement, more buffs as well. That's more endgame now. You do have a banker. You do have a trade post. You got basically everything that you need here. There is a potion merchant right here, so you obviously don't have to buy the endless ones right off the bat. You can go right here. Look, massively discounted English tier of Alba. 1 relic, 40 copper. It's a steal of a deal. Or if you need the large ones, they're kind of, I mean, if you're buying it for every dungeon, that cost can start to count up, especially as a newer player. So probably just grind them out, let them drop naturally, organically, whatever that means. Or if you have a ton of potions, you don't know what to do with them. I mean, you can always just get more relics, you know. Whatever. Mum's the word, right? And down here with our final merchant, you have your basic merchant guy. You won't really need him. I mean, unless you need some salvage kits. But other than that, he's just chilling, just doing his thing. And yeah, that's about what's going on in the Shattered Observatory. You can use this to warp back. So how this works in order to start these, maybe you're the party leader or you just kind of want to understand how this works. You go up. No, don't. That's the cinematic. You go up to this thing. Again, here's your fractals. You can go in and you start volcanic, for example. Let's go with the very first fractal. Everyone should have that unlocked. You have it ready. The scale is set up on the upper right. See? Right there. Next island, volcanic. That's my level. This is the fractal difficulty scale level that it's set. You go into this thing. Are you ready to continue? Boom. Yes, I am. Fractals of the Mists. I happen to like these a lot. I think they did a really good job with the fractal dungeons. Some of them are comical, some of them are funny, and a lot of them have achievements with them too. If you're an achievement hunter, tons of content right there. Rewards come with that. So here we are in the first dungeon. Little cinematic. I don't think I can solo this. I'm not even going to attempt to try, but this is what it would be, basically. Defeat the Grawl guards, blah, blah. So now you can leave back to the laboratory whenever you need to, and that's how you start it. That's how you get functioning. So what I'm going to do now is I will go through some looking for group stuff so you can see how easy it is. Like, let's say you haven't done it yet, you're brand new, you want to get started. You can start with exotic gear. You don't have to have your ascended gear to at least do the beginning fractals. You don't have to do that. If you have an expansion pack that you bought and you have a fully exotic character, or you're new and you've done the grinding all on your own and you haven't gotten to anything ascended, you can have exotic gear and still do these. So we'll hit our Y key, looking for group. You scroll down, Fractals of the Mists. So you see the scales here, they do separate it for you. So basically tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Initiate. Look at that. There's people in already. So why don't we join one of them? See, they do fill up fast. So we'll join tier 1. Now because I'm already in the laboratory, I am going to leave. Go back to Lion's Arch. You can do this with any activity when it causes you to port around. If you're already in it, just leave it so you can warp. It's just an easy, quick way to warp to where your allies are at. So I'm going to leave here. And look at that. There's a pop-up. Boom. Enter. Again, it's super easy to find this content. People are always doing fractals. Always doing. So hit your Y key. Go for your looking for group. And just check them out. Refresh. Alright, so here we go. Lots of people are friendly too. This is a very friendly game. I do like Guild Wars a ton because of that. Or Guild Wars 2 a ton because of that. And people are pretty patient. Now, you do have your elitists. They do exist. But for the most part, people are friendly. They're patient. They're willing to wait for you. Now, personally, for this kind of content, I would go a group build. So I go for the banner slave because that's what warriors are really good at, being banner slaves. But because it is tier 1 fractals, you don't really have to. That's the nice thing about it, is you can kind of just chill and do your thing. You don't have to be a banner slave or go super meta builds because they're relatively easy content. And most of the people you run into have already been doing fractals for a while, so they have the agony resistance. Every fractal is different. A lot of it is tank and spank, and other parts there's like little puzzles you have to solve, or whatever. So when you go through fractals, you want to pay attention to your masteries because you have fractal attunements that actually enhance your dungeons. You can unlock achievements, your agony channeler, recursive resourcing, mistlock singularities. Mistlock singularities are nice because they're these little things. Out of combat, you interact. Gives you a little buff. Look at that. 5 agony resistance for free. Best part about it is the next time you would be downed, instead heal 25% of your total health. So if you get hit with a kill shot, they turn that gun sideways. You don't die, obviously. You get 25% health back, which comes super handy the deeper you go into fractals, especially. So, blah, blah, Whispers grab. They're doing the wisp stuff. I'm still talking, so I think they'll get it. I hope they'll get it. I'm a little busy talking to you guys, so I'll try and do my best here. But yeah, fractals are super fun. Just, find a nice group of people that you can maybe... Mossman, he's the boss for this part. Maybe you can find a nice group of people that you can play with, or you can just go through pug groups. In tier 1, you're probably... I haven't ran into a tier 1 group that we just could not do it. Unless, of course, if everyone happens to be new, that does happen. So I wouldn't get too caught up in that. But for now, I'm going to just go through the gameplay of these fractals because you can see my party is wanting me to do stuff. So I'm just going to go through the gameplay, mute my mic, and then I'll comment and talk on the rewards as we get them later. So, daily tier 1, Swampland. That was one of the dailies. So here's the chest I was talking about. Let's go to our inventory now. So I gained, this was mine already. All of this was just from that first dungeon. So we have Strongbox, get in there. Nothing much really. You get some karma. This is for something else. So here is the main key ingredient, your fractal encryptions. And you do get other loot here. Like, look at this. There's a rare and there's another rare. You do, and some other boxes, things like that. Things to open. But if you get a bunch of rares, you stack them up, that's getting you a lot of money. But we're going to focus on the fractal boxes now. So here is the chest, quote-unquote chests that you get from the fractal dungeons. You can grind these endlessly. You keep doing them, you're going to keep getting these chests. You can actually get them on the trading post as well. So you see, they do kind of sell for, a decent amount. So if you don't even want to open them, if you don't want to buy the keys for whatever reason, You can just straight up sell them and people will buy. Like look at that price difference. For a sell order compared to just outright selling, that's not a huge difference. So you can make a lot of money instantly if you so wish. Up to you. So now we'll open our daily reward. So you see we've got a pristine, stabilizing matrix. Those are super valuable. Hold on to those. And then my key. Yay, I got a single key. I got some infusions as well. So let's open one now. We used the key. Here is a cracked fractal encryption. Excuse me. We cracked the code here. So let's open it up. Kind of lame. That one was really lame. I was disappointed in that. But basically, you see how that worked. We got some ascended, random drop. That's a dime a dozen. Not worth much. We got some extra agony infusion. And then you got this, which is a treasure. It's completely useless. There's no purpose to it besides just outright selling. But you see, if I were to sell that single box, it was about, 18 silver, 19 with some copper if I did a sell order. Instead, I used my daily key, which that key was free. I didn't pay for it. This is 25 silver. You see the difference. You get a little bit more money. Now, sometimes you get some really nice ones. Let's go back to the Shattered Observatory. It's all up to you. Like, if you want to spend the time to get the absolute best prices, best bang for your buck, you can always do that in any game. You just put the time in, you'll get there. But if you're just trying to do some mindless content, you just want money, you don't want to think about it, you can sell the boxes or go back to this guy, go to the Fractal encryption keys, and then you buy one. So let's buy, and you only get 30 a day. Remember, there's that limit, which, I mean, that is a lot. Like 30 boxes a day is a lot. So let's open this next one. Here you go. And sometimes you actually get keys back, which is really nice. I wish it was the other box, but I guess I'll have to run more today myself so I can get the worth out of it. But you'll get keys back sometimes. So there you go. Now this one was a little bit better. I got 2 of them, and look at that, 60 silver compared to the 18 silver for just selling the box outright. And I got some, other reagents as well. Not a whole lot, but it's still extra money. So you see, this can actually net you quite a bit of money. If you just go for the dailies, you don't even buy keys, you're still making a ton of money. You will make more money, from at least in my experience, you will make more money if you buy the keys that you need to open the boxes and sell what's in the boxes. You will always make more money doing that. If you're feeling lazy, you can always sell the box outright, doesn't matter. Now these stabilizing matrices, you use them in a lot of endgame crafting stuff, but look at that. That bad boy is worth 30 silver just by itself, and that's one. I have about 146, only because I was using some of them in one of my recipes. I think it's for Frostfang, which I'm currently trying to build right now, but I used a lot of them. I think it was that one. It might have been a different recipe. I can't remember now, but I had more, is what I'm trying to get at. I've got 146 left over, and at 30 silver a piece, that's netting me some gold there. So again, these activities, very easy, very friendly to get into. If you want to take the time to really invest in it so you can get to the better rewards, remember to go up on your agony infusion, your agony resistance. You need to focus on that stat. If we look at my stats, I have 117. It's good for, I believe that's a solid amount for up to tier 3, plus I run my pots and things like that. But if you're starting off tier 1, you don't need much. Maybe get a potion so that you're not always dying and your party doesn't have to pick up the slack. But get a potion, go to your looking for group, go to Fractals of the Mists, and just start checking out what parties will pop up. Get in there, get into the dungeons and start grinding them out, and you'll see you'll get a lot of gold, a lot of items, and you can start grinding out your Ascendant if you want. So thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends in your Discord servers if you like. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it. It really helps me build this channel. We're here for the casual gamers, so if you guys like more guides and tips and tricks and things like that, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if you liked it or not, and I'll see you around.